there. Yeah, wearing the color of Christmas, which is red. So yes, you can join us there. Search for Smooth 981 FM Lagos. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, Smooth 981 FM Lagos is what you're looking for. And click on the notification bell so that you get aware anytime we go live. Also, if you have missed out on any of the shows, you can also see the shows and go back to them. So ladies and gentlemen, joining me via Zoom is Dr. Chinasa Amadi. She is the founder of Ariella Health and Fitness. When it concerns the health, wellness, everything that concerns the holistic and preventive medicine, you would find her there. She is both certified. In fact, if I start to read out her what's it called now, her certifications, we're not going to leave this place. So please join me and welcome her via Zoom. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure to be here with you. And yes, to anybody who's listening for the first time, she's no stranger to breakfast in bed. She's like one of our, if we should have resident doctors and experts, with them. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How is the weather?
Yeah, the weather is, slugging it out with me. I do have, the runny nose. Not so bad this morning. I'm quite thankful for that. But then my voice is
Do
not
I,
the same.
do I need to put on a face mask?
Yeah, right. No, you don't have to. Well, of course, everybody should actually wear their mask everywhere they go because these days,
Of
this thing, now they really
course.
show for
Of
face, the
course.
face
Of
AA and
course.
stuff. Yeah.
Of
So, yeah.
course.
All right, so let's get down to what we're talking about this morning, high blood pressure. Now, while I was thinking about this topic, something very interesting came to me. You know how generally people would say, oh, in the case of high blood pressure, when a person who has been diagnosed or who has been said to have high blood pressure by the doctor is relating or recounting it, they'll be like, they say, doctor say I have BP. And I'm like, everybody has blood pressure. If you don't have blood pressure, you're dead. So it's not to say you have BP, it's to
Mm.
say high blood pressure. But then let us define what high blood pressure is in the simplest of terms.
So, in the simplest of terms, I'll define high blood pressure as getting a consistent BP reading of greater than 130 and greater than 85. So the upper reading, which is the systolic reading, is greater than 130 consistently, and the lower reading is greater than 85 consistently. So let me
Mm.
not go into the whole medical jargons of this and that. That is just, then you know, once you've gotten those readings consistently, then that should raise an alarm in your head that, hey, I'm actually
Mm.
hypertensive.
So how does a person get to that place where they're having that kind of reading?
So, recent studies are showing that lifestyle is the number one thing. Lifestyle is, before we used to think high blood pressure is a thing of age. Yes, it's a thing associated with old people. Our parents, when they get to that age, then they start taking BP medicine. But now, even people as young as 15 years, we've had clients on our programs that are 15, 16 that are hypertensive. And this has been linked with one, the rise of the the obesity pandemic currently going on,
Mm.
and the lifestyle. With urbanization and westernization, there is this surge in, we've adopted the Western lifestyle, we've adopted the sedentary lifestyle, and lifestyle, of course, has flung us to that place where we're seeing 16, 17-year-olds coming down with non-communicable diseases. And
Mm.
according to even the WHO, non-communicable diseases kill over 41 million people globally. Non-communicable diseases alone.
Wow.
Right. So, and that is where high blood pressure falls in. I like how you said, at the beginning, you said, oh, high blood pressure is a silent killer. When you made the post I saw on your page yesterday, you said it's a silent thief. I was just like, nah, this is not a thief. This is a silent killer, a silent murderer. Because most times people do not discover that. People do not know that they're hypertensive until something happens. oh, maybe they'll have a heart attack. Maybe they'll have a stroke. I don't know. Maybe some people must have seen some video in the past, of someone dancing and just has a heart attack. And people were thinking that he's being theoretical. They didn't even realize that, hey, something is going on. Some people have a sudden stroke. And that's when they're like, oh my God, your blood pressure is high. Oh, I never knew. That is something. That's why it's like a thief in the night. He just comes and he kills one or gives you a complication. You have a sudden kidney failure. And you're wondering what happened. Oh, it's the next thing as Africans, the first thing we do is, oh, it's spiritual. And we think it's village people that are doing that. Oh, I don't have BP in the name of Jesus. I'm like, oh, yes. Oh, okay, yes. But are you doing are you forbidding it by your lifestyle? You understand? So most times lifestyle predisposes you, but then, there are non-modifiable risk factors, which are things like your age, your genes, your family history, your race. Being black is a risk factor. Yeah. You being female is more risk factor, So those are risk factors that are not modifiable. You can't change that. But the ones that are modifiable, which is your lifestyle, how do you eat? How do you move? Studies have shown that it's been long, we knew once your blood pressure is high, they'll say reduce salt. Black people are more predisposed to sodium, in the effect of sodium on their blood pressure. So that. You have control over that. You have control over how do you exercise. You have control over how you manage stress. You have control over how you sleep. Now, why are you not applying the control, the place you have control? Why are you not doing it? That is why we are seeing this rise.
Well, there's an aspect I want to touch on, and that's the one concerning, you said children, people who are teenagers can actually have high blood pressure. Please shed more light on that because it is scary.
Well, that is because, studies have linked the rise in blood pressure with rise in consumption of especially processed foods. Yeah. So we're giving these children, what are processed food? Processed foods are foods that have undergone a lot of processing to become what it is. So from their original form. So take, for example, when you have potatoes and you have potato fries, then you now have potato chips. That's the ones in the packs. Now, potatoes are whole foods. The fries now are now a less processed version. Then the chips are now the ultra processed version. I'm giving an example of what whole foods and processed food are. So we find out these children are eating more processed food. They're taking in more soda than our ancestors did, than we even did. They're not even playing anymore. Everybody, their free times, they're on their phones, on their tabs. Their lifestyle is like opposite of what it used to be. So they're eating a lot more animal protein, eating a lot more processed meats, which are made with cured meat. These have a lot of sodium in them. So we are already, from the time they were 10 years old, they were already conditioned to actually be hypertensive by 15, by 16, because of their lifestyle.
That is
You understand that? Yes. That, if I want to even link it to something like even like type 2 diabetes, for example, which is also in like non-communicable disease, the same family, studies actually have shown that 1 in 10 children born after the year 2000 will develop diabetes.
Type 1 or type 2?
Type 2.
Wow,
type 2 is the prevalent now. Is more prevalent. It's over 90% of diabetics. Yeah. And it is, before it was called adult diabetes. Now it is seen. It's no more. It's just type 2 diabetes because juveniles are beginning to come down with that.
Wow.
As young as 12, 13. A study I was reading in a Pan-African journal, that was last year, 2020 or 2019. So that almost 50% of African adults are hypertensive. Adults are, of course, from 18 to 65. Over 50%.
Actually do not like, I mean, as much as I like to look out for data, I do not like this kind of data because it is gloomy. And that's one of the reasons we're talking about this, because prevention is always better than cure. So you know what? We will take a break. We will drink water. We will not be alarmed by what we're hearing. And then we will go on that quick break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about what we can do to prevent this silent thief of life, silent killer, silent murderer, whatever it is that you're using to describe high blood pressure. You can very sure that silent will come before it. This is Smooth 98.1.
We are your number one adult contemporary radio station.
My name is Zainab Balobo, and you are
Let me drink water. I'll be back.
98.1, your love music, love life station.
Hope you enjoyed your breakfast.
Loved it.
Great. Anything else I can help you with? Make your bed, iron your clothes, drop you off at work.
Are you doing all this to come along with me for the visa staycation?
Can't I spoil my own sister? But since you mentioned this, who else will make a fun staycation partner if not me?
Yes, you could win a getaway trip for two at a luxury hotel when you spend a minimum of 100,000 naira in at least 3 transactions with your Visa card. It's the season to win with Visa. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
How do you say Merry Picmas?
You're not traveling this season.
Merry Big Mercy.
Are we still on YouTube?
Yeah, we are on YouTube.
Merry
Okay.
No matter where you're from, the spirit of Picmas stays the same. So share love and nourishment with the nourishing goodness of Peak that keeps you going.
You're you're traveling, Abi. You have already traveled.
I'm in PH actually. You know, I have a facility here.
That is one core course
And a session of chill out.
every season.
Now, you've been
You don't carry
Grover Washington, Miles Davis, Yellow Jackets, George Howard.
You know what we're suffering here is the black suit. Oh, it's terrible.
And every time I think about that or see that, all I can think about is cancer. Lung cancer,
You
skin
know,
cancer.
that's all I'm just thinking about. Like so many years down the line, it's going
It's
to be
not so many anymore.
maybe like 10 years.
10 years, and I feel like 5 years, coupled with the lifestyle. We're coming back. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. This is Breakfast in Bed. We are talking about high blood pressure. And if you want to join in the conversation, you can do that by calling 01-448-9981 or send your WhatsApp message to 0809-444-0981. Is there a question you'd like to ask? Is there something you're not very clear about? Is there a feedback you'd like to give or a comment generally? The number is 01-448-9981 and the WhatsApp line is 0809-444-0981. If you're streaming live on YouTube, you can drop your messages or whatever it is in the chat box and I'll take it. My guest is Dr. Chinasa Amadi, and she's a founder of Areola Health and Fitness. So back to it, we've talked about the gloomy number, how even the children that are supposed to be full of life are, gradually being, I'm looking for that word. It's like, engulfed. They're gradually being engulfed by this thing that is so ugly, this monstrous hydra called high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, and we do not like that. So let's talk about some of the prevention or preventive methods. You have mentioned lifestyle. Please break that down.
Sure. The thing here, I like to say prevention is not just better than cure, it's actually cheaper than cure.
Exactly.
And if you're in our environment where right now the healthcare system, Nigerian healthcare system, is the 4th from below in the global ranking, you have no, it's almost like you have no alternative. No, you have to be intentional with your health. You have to be intentional. This is not the time to fall into a complication that you could have prevented. And one thing is certain, this one is a preventable disease. Now, first thing, I've had a situation where someone's like, oh, it's in my family. So it's like you're just waiting to carry on the family heritage. Hello, you don't have to do that. You don't have to carry that on. The truth is, yes, you are predisposed by genetics. You're predisposed by family history. But it does not define your destiny. Your DNA does not define your destiny. So because you are hypertensive, your father is hypertensive, your mother is hypertensive, does not mean that you're hypertensive. It just means that you have to take extra precaution than that other person, than Tinuke, whose father and mother are not hypertensive. You have to be, just say Tinuke. Are you Tinuke?
No, I'm not Tinuke.
So you have to be more intentional than that other person whose parents are not hypertensive or not diabetic. That is just it. So I want to rule out, first of all, the part of, oh, my father is hypertensive, so I am just waiting to carry it on. No. Now, how can you prevent this? Studies have shown that lifestyle modification, even in the management, in the guidelines of management of high blood pressure, lifestyle modification is number one. So whether you are on medication or not, it is important that you are making those lifestyle changes. And what are these lifestyle changes? Number one, first and foremost, you must modify how you eat. And the first thing I'm sure your doctor must have told you is that you have to go off added salt. What people's concern usually is, how will my food taste? I'm like, the taste of kidney failure is different from the taste of food.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, yes. And hypertension is a leading cause. I will say it as it is, because there's no point we keep mincing and keep packaging. Oh, how we this we want to pacify our excesses on the plateau of as in sacrificing our health for these excesses, which are easily modifiable. The truth is that every 14 to 21 days, our taste buds regenerate. Now, it is important for you to wait through that 21 days. And after 21 days, your food will taste normal. Yeah. So whether you added salt or not, yeah, as in how you cook your food, your body will get used to it. We need to increase our intake of fruits and vegetables. We need to be eating more whole foods and less processed food. That is very important. We eat a lot of processed food, a lot of packet food. A lot of cured meats, a lot of processed meats. And of course, we know that even the WHO has classified processed meats as grade 1 cancer-causing. So that is even another story for another day. But the amount of sodium in these foods, in this processing of food, which is they use the sodium also for their preservation, is enormous. So one way to do that is to limit as much as possible, to increase what are we eating, our vegetables, our fruits, increase that. That is very important. Another way to prevent, another prevention technique is exercising. We have that mindset of, oh, I have to go to the gym to exercise. Oh, no! Even walking is exercise. Play your favorite music. Just make a music track of 5 music, of 6 music together. And by the time you put 6 music together, it's almost a 25 minutes like track to put together, and you can just play those music and just dance. Keep dancing. That's exercise. The question is, are you moving, or are you sitting down and saying, oh, making excuses, my leg is paining me? Everybody's leg is paining them, literally. There's always an excuse not to exercise. But if you have to do it for your health, think about it. Think about your ancestor that has high blood pressure and you do not want to get that high blood pressure. That is a reason for you to move. How are you sleeping? Sleep hygiene is important. Minimum hours of sleep, 7 to 9 hours. I usually say, 6 hours if you're in Lagos.
Let's be real.
You see the thing is, We're going to be real. As much as we're real, that's what we say, that westernization and urbanization have also put us at risk for these diseases. So sometimes you have to make hard sacrifices. Honestly. Most of the time, take for example, if you come back from work at 10 o'clock, or 10 p.m., and you try to just get to bed by 11 o'clock, that's when village people will now whisper in your ear that you've not checked your WhatsApp group where your alumni said your alumni is arranging Christmas party, people have not arranged the food finish. You now start checking. By the time I made a post at 4 o'clock, let me see the engagement. And that is where the trouble starts. Because before you finish looking at your phone, it's already 1 a.m. And you are meant to wake up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock to get ready so that you're out of the house at 6 o'clock. Yeah. So if you keep your phone away and try to sleep at 11 to wake up at 5, that's a 6 hours.
There are times you are not even checking your phone now. There were times your head just refuses to go to sleep. Like different thoughts here and there, just jumping up and coming up, and you're remembering something you should have done better, something you shouldn't have said, different things. Your head just refuses.
You have to quieten that head. I say if you don't sleep well, you can practice learning to sleep. It's just that it's just the way children learn alphabet. They mumble over it for a couple of months, then later they're singing with it. I'm sure we all learned how to say all the whole 36 states and capital. Now nobody remembers it anymore. That's the same way we learned to sleep when we're younger. But now nobody remembers it because of the pressures of life. But if we try to learn it again, hear it over and over again 5 times, we'll get it. That's the same way we can learn to sleep. We just need to be willing. Adults are the most difficult set of people. We don't have patience to learn anything.
Because
we're not even ready. Yes, we feel we have formed. But one thing is constant. Change is constant. The question is, are you ready to change? Are you willing to change? This is something you can change. You cannot change your genes, but you can change the outcome of your genes. Yeah, you cannot.
According to Dr. Chinasa.
So it's a choice.
Okay, because we are trying to maximize our time. Now, I want you to quickly lay to rest that thing about pink Himalayan salt and sea salt. A number of people actually, I have said it many times in the ways that I can, but please help me to lend your voice to that. A number of people think that because it is sea salt, it looks fancy. It's not, maybe it doesn't taste as sharp as a regular salt. It is normal, or it is okay for them to consume it, even though they have high blood pressure. So please help me to shed more light on that quickly.
Okay, so that's amazing, because I actually made a post about that earlier this week, where I highlighted it and I showed it on the pack of the sea salt. It is written there, not suitable for those on a reduced salt diet. I didn't write it. The producers, the people that made it, wrote it. The question is, have you read it? So I don't think we should even, there's no need to even dwell on it again. When the people that made the sea salt have written on the pack, well, I'll say, well, they wrote it in small print because they know, say, some people no go read them. Yeah? So they wrote it in a very small print at the base of the can, but it is actually written there. And who are those on the reduced salt diet? We all know that once you are hypertensive, and if they say it is not suitable for you, the people will make and say it's no good for you. You say it's good for you. Oh. How do we help that matter? So I made that post on my page on Ariella Health and Fitness on Instagram, and I broke it down like, hey, we should stop making excuses for our excesses.
Okay, so another thing that I'd like us to talk about is how you can manage high blood pressure. Is it only done effectively with drugs? I mean, do you crush it only with drugs, or you have to make it go hand in hand with lifestyle modification? And then the second part of that question is it possible for you to reverse that condition? I mean, can you possibly go from being hypertensive to being normotensive?
Okay, so the first part of the question, which is it possible to
is it
only drugs? Yes. Now, It's a combination.
Okay.
Whether you are on medication or not, lifestyle modification is a constant. Now, there are certain people that their doctors will tell. We've had some clients where their doctor will just refer them to us and say, hey, I'm not going to give you medication yet. This is not the level for medication. Go and make lifestyle changes. Yeah, maybe they're just clocking at a 125, 126, 127, 128, and there is no other comorbidity. That means there is no other underlying disease. There's no diabetes, there's no obesity. Then the doctors will just say, hey, go, 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 go. Most times they don't go and make lifestyle modifications. There are some people that the doctor will say, I'll give you drugs for 1 month, and then make sure you do lifestyle modification. But the truth is, whether you are on medication or not, I do pharmacological. There's some people that I even place them on medication when they come to me and they're like hitting a 180, 100, and I'm like, "Are you on medication?" No, what? You serious? Oh, I don't want to take medication, doctor. I don't want to. You don't want to. You want to die? Is it? How do you want to die? That is the question now. Really? So most times, then I'll have to place them on medication while prescribing lifestyle modification. They go hand in hand. Most people think that because, oh, I'm on drugs, so no need for lifestyle modification. No, 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 no. It is a reason why you must be on lifestyle, you must practice lifestyle modification. And I think everybody should, because even being Nigerian is a risk factor for high blood pressure. So everyone should actually practice lifestyle modification, making lifestyle changes, especially as they get older, because age is a non-modifiable risk factor.
Yep.
So yeah, so the place of drugs are very important, very, very important. But lifestyle modification is benefit. So drugs are an adjunct to this lifestyle modification. Yeah.
So it means you have to be on drugs all the rest of your life?
Oh no, you do. It's up to you. I always say, for example, I was hypertensive before. I was on medication, but for the past 7 years, I've not been on medication. My BP has not been. If it's high, it's a 120/80. If it is high.
How did you do it? Because that's the second part of the question. That can you go from being hypertensive to being normotensive? How did you do it?
So now that as long as there are no other on the like comorbidities, yes, it's easier when there are no comorbidities. That's why we always say prevention is better. When there are no comorbidities, your kidney function is optimal. You don't have any obesity. You're not having increased abdominal fat. As a woman, you're not having abdominal fat greater than 35, or a man greater than 40 inches. And there's no cancers, no arthritis, no other comorbidity. Then reversibility, and then age is a favorable factor. Then reversibility is a possibility. So yes, it is possible. The question is, are you ready to make the kind of changes? I had to give up so much to get to where I want to be. I had to give up so many things. Now, are you ready to give up all those things, or are you ready to make excuses for? Maybe if someone tastes my food, they may say, oh, there is no salt or there is no this. But of course, I've gotten to that point where it is pretty much a normal for me. And I think my food tastes delicious. But someone may come in and say, oh, but some people have come in and say, this food doesn't even taste like something that doesn't have this or that. Because I've learned how to cook my food. Yeah, I've learned how I exercise 5-6 times a week. Because I know that I have been obese and I have been hypertensive, and I know, say, if it come back. So I am fighting it. Yes. So you have to live intentionally. It's intentionality is key. So people want this, but they are not ready to do the work. You want to reversibility. You want to reverse this. We have reversed it a lot on our program, on our various programs. The question is, are you ready to do all it takes? You cannot eat your cake and have it.
Okay. All right. Not to scare anybody out there, but please tell me some of the possible complications of high blood pressure if it is not well managed.
Well, if it's not well managed, complication 1, kidney failure. 2, heart attacks. 3, stroke. 4, infertility. 5, sexual dysfunctions. It can cause erectile dysfunction in men. Yeah. So I always tell the man that, hey, this is a good reason for you to behave yourself. Hello, because when it's like, hey, you're like oh yes member, you're no more like Wire Master anymore. It's a problem. So you have to find some ways to get to this. You have to find ways like give them a reason. Why? And when some people are eating certain things, I'm like, are you willing to be an uncompensated lab rat for this food company? Imagine that.
It's your terminology.
And then they're like, oh my God, it just goes into their head like, bam, they're not even paying me for this. You have to, because we're amazing people. I can't even imagine what God goes through really with us, because we're amazing. So you have to let them, like, see, you tell a young man that, do you know that this can cause this? Do you know that this can cause frequent miscarriages, your raised blood pressure? And then the young lady that will know, okay, I need to do better. I need to keep this away because I want this. There's a greater cause. We have some people, before they go for fertility treatment, their gynaes refer them to us. And we're trying to put them through that, like, hey, before you commence, you need to get down that blood pressure because it will ruin things for us. And then that's the way I tell them. I say, what do you want? Baby or food? Choose one. And they're like, no, we want the baby. Do you understand? So you always prick them at that point where they realize their motivation has to be key. There's something we call trans-theoretical level of change. So it helps you to decipher at what level is this client at. There are some people that are the pre-contemplative stage, the contemplative stage, the preparation stage. So when these people approaching us already at the preparation stage, are ready for change. So you need to use subtle motivational interventions techniques, subtle behavioral interventional techniques, to get them to achieve change. But sometimes self-motivation is everything. So you need to self-motivate yourself.
And sometimes you have to threaten them like you are subtly doing now. Thank you so much. We are out of time, sadly. I guess we have to do this another time. And I'm very sure that you will oblige me again. Thank you so much.
As always.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you. Yeah. And Lagos and the rest of the world, there you have it. If you're not happy or you're disgruntled at the fact that she called you an uncompensated lab rat for eating those foods that you like and you just like to indulge in, you can take it to our page on Instagram at Ariella Health and Fitness. Go and meet her there. She'll answer you. And of course, if you're just joining us, you have missed this conversation. But you haven't, because I'll save it up on YouTube for you. So go to YouTube and search for Smooth 91 FM Lagos and you'll find our channel there. Just so that you don't miss for the things that we have for you, click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you get aware. But in the meantime, I'll put this up on the WhatsApp status. Share this with somebody, especially somebody who's bent on helping you or not helping you, on just not doing what you have been telling them to do, and you are worried about them. Of course, you're worried about the medical bills. Remember what we said, that prevention is better than cure, especially considering our healthcare system in Nigeria. Please don't be at the mercy of it. That's all I have for you on Soul Food Conversation this morning. But do not worry, because I am not done yet. I'm still with you here till 10 o'clock. But I have the kids joining me soon. That's for kids 6 to 15. I'm talking about Curious Minds. That's the game show for the kids. Where are they? I do love it. All right, this is Smooth 98.1.
Hi, this is Michelle Devitt. Keep listening to Smooth 98.1.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.